Are beanbag chairs just boneless sofas? Discuss in the comments.
It's that time again. I'm so bored. I'm going to be judging Instagram filters. Let's do this. Oh no, play me off, Scotty.
Ladies and gentlemen, please prepare yourselves for an artistic interpretation of the year 2020. I, dressed in the white suit, shall be playing 2020. And the computer on the ground has graciously accepted the role as all of us. Reginald, roll the clip.
Yes, I do get that comment all the time. You don't look straight. Oh, well, shocking. And to answer that question, how do you look gay? Apparently, according to the world, you just have to be 6'1", blue eyes, dirty blonde hair, and be named Ryan.
It's too bad everybody nowadays is just looking for someone who's dummy thick. Because right now I'm just out here being a dummy who's thick. Here's why reading is super important. See if you can guess the right word before we get to it. So I am driving down the road with my friend Haley in the passenger seat, my friend Maggie and Taylor in the back seat. And they are just hanging out, having a good time, but they're looking at the billboards as we go by them. And they look up, and one of them is a billboard against drunk driving in Missouri. And Haley reads it, and she goes, "What? That's crazy!" And we go, "Why?" And she goes, "Drive intoxicated, get incinerated? Like melted by fire?" And I had to look over at her and go, "Haley, it's drive intoxicated. Get incarcerated." I just had a very awkward time at the doctor's office today because I went to the doctor's office and a nurse comes in and she's like, "Hi, are you here for a physical?" And I was like, "Yes, among other things." And then she starts asking me a whole bunch of mental health questions. And she's like, "Are you feeling sad today?" And I was like, "No." And then she gave me a look like, "Do you know what's going on in the world?" And I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "Okay, he's severely mentally ill." And then she keeps asking me questions. At the very end, she goes, "Hey, do you have a written or living will? Like for death?" And I go, "What?" And she goes, "You know, if you die." And I go, "No." And she goes, "Really?" And I go, "Yeah, I wasn't expecting the physical to get that intense today." And that is gold. And she didn't even crack a grin. And when you have a joke that just falls so flat, you feel bad. And so I followed it up with, "I'd like to revise my answer to that happiness question." Here's a dating app disaster about someone that's either soliciting or threatening me. I'm not sure. If you want nudes, it cost. What does that mean? Like, what could that did she mean, if you want nudes, it'll cost you? Or is this a threat where she's just like, if you want nudes, like if you don't send me nudes, it'll cost you? Either way, I'm concerned. I've had a lot of friends that are felons, and honestly, it's been lovely. It wasn't intentional, but it just kind of happened. I don't know why criminals like me. I think it's because once they realize I'm not a narc, they're like, "Oh, look at you, little zippy energy." And I'm like, "Thank you." I think it's like I'm a criminal pet. Like I'm like a pit bull or a Rottweiler. Like I'm just trying to be happy and adorable, but sometimes I'm associated with scary people. And here's the thing. I had a buddy named Edric, and he was in the pharmaceutical trade of zippy no-nos. He was a chemical engineer, to say the least. And he had gotten into that because he didn't have like a really rough life, and it just kind of led him to that, which was unfortunate. He didn't trust many people, but he was friends with my roommate, and I became friends with him. And one night they had been out partying really hard, like on some zippy no-no things. And they get back home, and I go out early in the morning, and I bring back a double-double from In-N-Out. And it was an extra one, and so he sat up, and I just handed it to him. I go, "Hey, man, here's a burger," to kind of help him recover. And he goes, "What?" I go, "Yeah, man, a double-double." And he goes, "Dude, I love double-doubles." And for the rest of his life, he's passed away since then. He would call me double-double as a loving, endearing term because it was just one act of kindness that kind of helped shape that he could be loved.
So I said, take it easy. Trying not to be so hard on myself. Tell me why am I so damn emotional?
I went full Snow White with little woodland creatures. So in college, I lived in a sunroom in Michigan. 3 of the walls were glass, and it snowed 8 months out of the year. The room was also slanted, so it wasn't fun, but the redeeming quality was there was a little critter that lived underneath my room, and the first night that I was in there, I was laying in bed, and I felt bad about the room that I lived in, and I heard a little and I was like, "Oh!" And so I named him Sebastian because I thought he was a raccoon. And he sounded so cute, and I talked to Sebastian, which sounds sad now, but I promised then it was very nice. And one night, I was coming home, and I was in college, so I'd had some some libations. And I saw this little critter scurry across her driveway, and I was like, oh, it's Sebastian. I want to go say hi. So I sprint over to Sebastian to say hi because I love the critters. And I turn to see him, and he turns to see me. And he was not a raccoon. He was a skunk. And he raises his tail like he's about to make my night a lot worse. And I go, Sebastian, no, it's me. And he lowers his tail, and he scurried away because he recognized my voice.
Hey guys, check this out.
Sid the Tiger found a shortcut.
No thanks, I choose life.
I have a friend who was recently diagnosed with COVID, and unfortunately it caused something called a transient ischemic attack, also known as a mini stroke. Unfortunately, COVID doesn't just affect you physically in your lungs, but it can affect your entire body and shake things up so bad that it causes neural damage, which is exactly what happened to her. I was on the phone with her when she experienced the attack, and it was very traumatic to listen to someone who I know is brilliant. She has a master's degree in mathematics and is a maternal figure to me, who could not put together simple sentences. This attack caused long-term neural pathway damage, destroying some and deteriorating others. Now, thankfully, there is intensive therapy that is able to bring her brain back. However, it is incredibly expensive and her insurance won't cover it. That's why on July 16th, starting at 6 p.m., I'll be doing a 24-hour live stream to July 17th at 6 p.m. to help raise money for this very advanced therapy that could help recover this wonderful person's brain. Plus, it's not all doom and gloom. I'm going to be playing with some of your favorite TikTokers. We're talking Mads Katie, Simba on Fire, Chunky Hustle, maybe Francis Mo10, and maybe more. We'll see who stops by. The link to the GoFundMe and my Twitch is available at www.youthpastorryan.com, which is in my TikTok bio. Hope to see you there.